The first task is to take templates from the existing structure. This is a requirement especially for conservation projects, where the new material has to be identical to the original so that it all fits and looks the same at the end. It's an important skill, born of long experience and a natural eye. Jem will be replacing the fore-end flashes which have deteriorated badly, as well as the stem post. Today, those templates are being taken, ready to go back to the yard where the new timbers will be cut.
We can either do that by taking a complete template of where the plank is lying on the boat already, and we'd perhaps do that in hardboard or cardboard, or you can use a spiling board and bend that around the boat and measure above and below it at various station marks along that plank. So every foot down the spiling board you'd measure above and below, and then you can transfer that onto timber that we've got at the other yard. Other methods might be to bend a piece of plywood around the boat and then glue pieces of wood above and below it, which in a sense is the same thing but quite accurate. And then we can also spile using dividers, which again is a sort of fairly accurate way of translating the curves on the boat to what they would look like as a flat piece of timber. Because of the compound curves, we're not just bending the planks straight round like that. Because of the curve in, you're getting quite a different shape when you lay that piece of timber out flat, and you end up with something that's a bit more like a banana-shaped piece of wood. And so it's quite important that we accurately know where that plank will be in that piece of timber, because we need to avoid the knots and the cracks and the sapwood. Select our spot as carefully as we can.
Jem Bates is nowadays nearly unique among heritage boat builders, in that he cuts his own planks from trees that he collects in himself. 200 years ago this would have been done by two men in a saw pit. 100 years ago they'd normally have used a steam-driven bandsaw. Jem has built his own machinery to harness modern technology to this ancient skill. Most of the timber used in boat building is oak. He has to select the logs carefully to make sure they're the right shape and are fully seasoned and sound. Often a flaw only shows itself when the cut has already been made. Today, Jem's cutting the block from which the stem post will be shaped. We can see the way in which the Rogers stem guard iron is being used to give the basic shape. The new post has to be large enough to take it without padding. And this is what gives the bow its distinctive and elegant shape, slightly different for each builder and very much part of the boat. Here's the roughly cut block, which will now be cut down to size and shape. The templates taken earlier from the flashes are being applied to the planks already cut to size. 2-inch thick oak, about 15 feet long and 10 inches wide. A lot of this will be discarded, but we can already see the shape starting to appear. An area of the bottom planking also has to be replaced. Originally of elm, 3 inches thick and cut from large and mature trees to give large planks and so reduce the number needed, the Rogers new bottom planks will be of Opapi. Elm is now very scarce, and special permission has been given to use this non-traditional material. Here the newly cut planks are loaded and ready to go up to the dock. The damaged planks have been cut out with a chainsaw, but the new ones will go in with much more care. We're now seeing a very traditional technique. Once the planks for the flashes have been cut, they have to be shaped. In softwood boat building, such as on Chesapeake Bay, planks like this can be forced into shape. But this is oak and has to be steamed. For about an hour for each inch of thickness, and these planks are 2 inches thick. Hot from the steamer, the planks are carried into the dock to be positioned. The old material hasn't yet been removed. The new will be held in place with props braced off the dock walls and cramped over the weekend, before being taken off to allow the next stage of forming. The stem post, having been cut and shaped, now has to be fitted. This shows one of the key differences between boat building and conservation. When building, the hull planks are simply assembled round the stem posts, but in conservation the post has to be fitted into the existing structure. First, the capping, also damaged and due to be replaced, must be removed. With the flashes out of the way, this opens up the area nicely. But the new post has to go in and come out and go in and come out several times, with even the hull planking having to be adjusted to take it. Each time a little more is removed. Overdoing that could be very expensive. But eventually it's in. 2 days' work required. And then the main item has been replaced. Job done. Well, nearly. There's still a great deal of work to do. While all this is going on, the new bottom planks, a 3-inch up epi, have been put in, after being cut in the yard from templates taken at the start. The boat has had to be jacked up for this, and the new planks nailed upwards with 12-inch nails like these. Then they're drilled and bolted through the keelson and knees as we see here. The oak planks for the flashes, steamed and then shaped over the old ones, have been taken down, and the old material cut out. They now have to be fitted properly. While this is less exacting than the work on the stem post, it still requires patience, skill, and a fair amount of effort. They have to be offered up, removed, shaped, and offered up again, on both sides, several times, before they can be fitted into place and bolted in. Caulking is a crucial phase of the work. Oakum, the fibres of hemp rope separated, is rolled into a thick cord and placed in the gap between the planks. The gap may have to be opened up a little to get it in. Then it's hammered in, hard, using a caulking iron and hammer, before being coated with marine glue and then blacked with the hull. The caulking not only keeps the water out, it also provides important stiffening of the hull, including the bottoms. It takes one man several days to caulk a boat like Roger, including both the hull seams and the bottom planks. It's not fun, but it's a vital task. In this short film, we've shown the main items of work done by Jen Bates's small team in a damp, dark and very cold dry dock in the winter 2012. There were many smaller jobs to be done as well as these, from bolting and nailing the bottom planks to the chine, cutting out and repairing small areas of the hull and bottoms, replacing quickly right at the end the panelling at the back of the cabin, and replacing completely the protective tin plate sheathing on the bottom plank's end grain. All of these require the skill of the craftsman, and those skills are part of the hidden capacity needed if historic craft like Roger are to be conserved for everyone to use and enjoy in the future.
For this to continue, it needs to be dynamic, it needs to be living. It's important that the skills are carried on and that this boat is not just an inert example in a museum of what it used to be. Because without the skills, without the life going into it and continuing, then I think that boat building would die out, and I think that the wooden boats then would shortly follow.
Thanks to the generosity of our funders and the skill of the team, Roger can return to her place in the education work of Rickmansworth Waterways Trust, her future assured for a good many years to come.